We are live. How you doing, guys? We've had time to kind of calm down from that group reveal earlier. Auntie Liz has had a Valium and calmed herself down. You're a bit excited there. You're a bit passionate about that.
I am a passionate person. I was very emotional. I'm still emotional, but I'm calm emotional.
Good.
Rational.
How is everybody? What do you all think of those groups? Absolutely crazy.
The actual reveal itself was a bit crazy, wasn't it?
It was.
A bit cheaper.
Yeah. Well, I was on the World's Strongest Man live and suddenly it just stopped. And then I was like, oh, Mitch is on. Let's go over to Mitch. And then, anyway, we're here. We know the groups. Exciting. Like, I had my initial reaction, and now I've had time to kind of think about things a little bit more.
Yeah. I think what's really hard as a fan of the World's Strongest Man is knowing that your 10 favorites will never all be in the same final together, because there's no way that you'll get the perfect spread of 2 in each group, and it's just hard to handle when you see 3 of your favorites in one group and you think, no, like someone here has to lose out. So it is hard. It's very hard.
Rocker 3829, I think he says here, one of the surprising things was for Pavlo being named in the same group as Tom. That was a surprise, I think.
Yeah, because I would expect, because I think like Tom should be number 1 priority. I avoid the word seed, number 1 priority. And I would.
Well, he's a 2-time champion, so you expect him to come in as the guy that's going to get looked after, if anyone.
Yeah.
You want your number 1 seed, if you like. I know there's no seeds, but clearly, I think everyone considered Tom.
It should have seeds.
Well, it should. And I think everyone would consider, and I think World's Strongest Man including, especially looking at the groups, I think all of us as fans, Tom, Novikov, Mitch, Brian Shaw, and Trey. They are your top 5 guys in terms of, let's think about the last few years, think about performances. They are the guys that you're going to have as your number 1s in the group. Then it's an argument that people can have as opposed to who should be the next 5, who should be the 5 after that, etc. I know you and I have had arguments ourselves between, who we think is where and where they should be. But I think, in my opinion, Group 1 and Group 3 are the hardest 2 groups in terms of they have the biggest names. I think other groups are hard, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's harder to predict perhaps a second place in some groups, or
like Group 4.
And it's even with all the predictions, even if it suited how you wanted it personally or how anyone did, you never know what's going to happen.
No, it's true. I just think you feel like you're starting off on the wrong foot.
You need to kind of rein in that passion.
I mean, to rein in my crazy.
Your passion's good.
Thank you.
But sometimes you just get a little bit too heated.
I'm all right on camera. It's off camera. I'm a crazy woman.
Liz is ready to argue with everyone.
Loz is like quivering in the corner. Hi, Lynn Moore.
How you doing, Lynn? We hope you're well, buddy.
Mr. OSG.
Who else is in here? That's why they need us, guys.
We have offered our services. I think if I get passionate one more time, they'll be got no
wanting
chance.
Auntie Liz's services.
No.
I think Gav has a good chance to start. Gav has a chance. Gav Bilton is looking great. He's got a chance. You never know what could happen.
Which group is Gav in?
I think
he's in Group 2. Yeah, with Iron Bibi, Fadeo Mastery, Thomas Evans, Alexi, and Luke. The problem in this group for Thomas Evans, he's not that good at stones, and I don't think anyone beats Alexi in that group. So it's Alexi through that group, I think, and then 2 undisclosed athletes in the stone off, because who knows what Iron Bibi might be able to do.
You just don't know.
With him.
So JP has sent a super chat, but we can't see. Have a look down a little bit.
Did you mess it up, mate? Thank you so much for sending it. We will keep an eye out.
Have a look on your phone, Auntie Liz.
Okay. Oh, hip flipping mama became a member. Yay. Bless her. She's been very supportive these last few weeks.
Thank you to everyone that's become a member. Auntie Liz has some extra features for you, and if you aren't a member, you won't have seen our outtake video from
the Meet the Athlete
series,
yes.
Which is quite hilarious, to be honest. I can't believe some of the stuff that Auntie Liz left in that, but that is a treat for you. If you are a member, make sure you have a look at that video.
I left all my own bloopers.
You did. That's what I'm thankful of. I expected the bloopers of me,
just to be you,
but I thought Auntie Liz wouldn't put herself in there, but she did. So if you want to see Liz messing up, then head over to that, become a member. It is quite funny, I've got to say.
I can't see JP Smith's on here either.
Okay.
It's still just a blob, but we will keep an eye out for it. Let me just see if I can see it.
What do you think about this? Toby says he thinks Rauno could do very well. I do as well.
I honestly do, because Rauno can do very well. Like, he can win the deadlift in his group. It's going to be tough with Bish in there, but it will be one of those two. He could definitely win it. Rauno can do very well on the cone and circle. He's a very good thrower as well. He's only got to get into the stone off. Rauno, like on that slightly slower format, I mean, they've got 20 seconds to lift the stone, but on that format where it's not a speed race, he's a very, very good stone lifter.
Yeah,
so
he won the
Rauno's got a good
stone at the
chance.
in Australia.
Yeah.
And that was a heavy stone
220
for
stone,
reps.
wasn't it? Well, it
It wasn't
a
for
max
reps.
stone.
It was a max stone, wasn't it? But he looked like he had plenty more in him.
He had a lot more in him. Yeah.
And I've trained with him. I know what he's like at lifting heavy stones. He's actually much better at just a heavy stone rather than a real quick set.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think it suits him a little bit more.
Yeah.
But that group is tough to pick. There's
very hard. Yeah.
Adam Bishop, Kevin. They
Kevin
can all
Paris. Kevin's very fast, but like Bish is going to lose points on the log.
Yeah.
Kevin's going to lose a couple on the log and on the deadlift, but he's
I don't
going to
know.
pick up a lot.
He pulled four. Well, he's got some great deadlifters in the group.
He's got
he?
some very good. Brian's in there as well. Is the problem.
Yeah.
And then who else?
But a lot of them could cause Brian problem on individual events as well.
It's true. Yeah, I still see Brian winning that group.
I see Brian as this supreme stone lifter in that group. So even if he doesn't
yeah.
win the group, I think he's
Doesn't
pretty safe.
matter, yeah.
But he probably will win the group. He normally does. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. What are the other groups? Let's go through each group, Lizzie.
I don't know that my gentle heart can take it another
Come
time,
on, you
Leslie.
can. Thank you to Matt for becoming a member. Thank you to Jurian. 1107. Thank you very much for becoming a member.
Well, we should call you 1107. Group 1 then: Konstantin Janasha, Pavlo Cordiaca, Paro Dwyer, Tom Bobby, and Eddie Williams. That's so hard on Bobby. The thing about that I don't like about this
Thank you,
group
Steve.
is that I consider Tom, Bobby, and Pavlo to be 3 of the top 10 in the world right now.
Yeah, and we've got a super chat here from Alex. I think Brian's group is harder than people are saying. Brian's group is hard. So let me get Brian's group up.
I've got it right here, Lazzy.
I'll tell you why it's hard. Like, there's no easy groups, so we should probably get that clear from the start.
No, there are no easy groups. I don't like the balance in some of them.
I think the issue is probably more how they've come about this as the group, because you've got Brian Shaw, who in the last few years has won the Shaw Classic a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
Jacco Schoonwinkel was second at OSG, which, you know, Jacco's very good, but he's not tested at this level. Gabriel Rayam is still fairly new. Obviously made the final last year, but didn't do very well at the Shaw Classic.
No.
That's the only other real show we've seen him at. Rauno is a solid international, but he goes up and down like a yo-yo. Kevin Fairs, obviously, he was top 3 at the Giants Live World Tour Finals.
Yeah.
But he's a very, very solid strongman. But whenever you see him in like the Rogue Invitational, the Arnold's, a final of World's Strongest Man, he's normally near the bottom.
Yeah.
He's not one of the guys challenging for those major titles. And Adam Bishop just won Britain's Strongest Man, did very well at Europe's, but he's coming back from a tricep injury, which is going to kind of cost him on that event particularly. So I think you've got a clear favorite in a Brian Shaw, and then potentially 4, maybe even 5 guys that can.
I wouldn't
really
be surprised
challenge.
to see any of those.
So it's a very tough
guys
group to pick
in the stone off.
who you think will go through.
Yeah.
Like, I can give reasons for Adam, I can give reasons for Kevin, I can give reasons for Rauno, Gabriel. I don't think Jacco will get through that group just because of the lack of experience, but it's not impossible. It's really not impossible.
He was winning OSG until the stones.
And that's probably the one question mark with him is, do you see him winning the group? And do you see him beating those guys on stones?
Probably not.
That's the question mark I have for Jacco. But you never know. It's it is a tough group, but when you look at maybe say Group 3, which has the winner of the Arnolds, the runner-up from the Arnolds, a man that's not been off a podium in 7 international competitions, who also is champion of the Strongman Champions League. He's just been 3rd at Europe's Strongest Man. He's podium at World Tour Finals. He's on a real high at the moment. You've got Graham Hicks. Graham's not performed that well in competitions, but he's dangerous. And then you've got the winner of OSG and the 3rd place from OSG. So, I mean, for me, the big heavy 3 in that are 3 potential finalists that you would have thought of before the
Mitchell
competition.
Mateo. That's the heartbreak group for me.
And,
Because
Tom Stoltman's group is tough.
honestly, for the returning champion, I think that is really tough.
Yeah, really tough.
that
I mean,
is
it's
hard.
really tough for guys like Eddie Williams and Parr.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be crying seeing that group.
Oh God, I would.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Bobby Thompson, who is current America's Strongest Man, just placed third at the Arnold's. You've got Tom Stoltman, who is the current 2-time World's Strongest Man. You've got Pavlo Cordiaca, who is exceptional with these events in the heats, and he's just proven it a few weeks ago, winning Europe's Strongest Man. And Konstantin Janasha, who is not in the best shape right now, or he's certainly not up until this point, but he's a 4-time finalist.
Yeah, 4 times. Yeah.
That's a tough group.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what's going to happen? It's all exciting until it starts tomorrow, and then we know what kind of shape people are in.
Tomorrow's going to be wild. Steve, thank you for becoming a member. Member here, Rocker. I don't think I've stopped laughing about the fingers bit. Honestly, I don't know what it is. I just can't say it. Can't wait to look at some spreadsheets. I think Rano might be in a stone off with Bish.
Jamie thinks we should do a duet.
You should go to Britain's Got Talent and sing a duet. Forget Strongman. Oh, we're very talented vocalists, aren't we, Lazo?
Oh yeah. Whatever you say, Auntie Liz.
Group 4 has 2 finalists and 2 stone off losers from last year, the most of any group. Is that Brian's group, Group 4? Yeah, because Bish lost the stone off, and
yeah,
I can't remember who else now.
Gabriel Horay won on a stone off.
Yeah, he did. Kevin Ferris lost the stone off.
Yeah, Brian Shaw won on a stone off last year.
Jorian, thank you so much for the super chat. Gutted with the group from Bobby, Tom, and Pavlo. I'm afraid this will become difficult for Bobby, as you said, and I'd love for all 3 of them to go through. Yeah,
Bobby's in great shape. He is, but stones are the biggest question mark. Now, he's just got to fight. You know, as an athlete, I'm going to try and speak to him later. He needs to fight as hard as he can. He can potentially win the log. He can potentially win the deadlift. His Conan's is improving very well. Needs a good performance on the loading. I think loading and throwing, he drops a little bit of points against some of the guys in the group. But if he can get those 2 wins on those other events, you never know what it's going to be like going into that last event. Stones is a worry. I'm not, I could sit here and try and be one of those guys to pretend, but he knows stones is his weakest event. It's not like we're not stupid. We kind of know where people are strong and where they're not strong. And obviously, the stones is the concern.
Bobby has the ability to surprise, though. In 2021, he won his group against the returning champion, Alexei Novikov, in events that I would not expect Bobby to win a group in.
Bobby is a fighter.
And Kevin Ferris and Luke Stockman were in that group. People were calling it the group of death that year. And he won that group. So who knows?
My advice to Bobby is going to be one event at a time. Focus on one event at a time. Just give your absolute all. And, if you end up in a stone off, someone said to me, actually, what if Bobby is in a stone up against Tom? Does he just not try? Hell no, you've trained hard to be World's Strongest Man. You give 100%.
Of course you try.
You never know what the other person is going through, how they slept the night before, what their personal life has been like. Are they ill? Are they carrying an injury? You don't know any of these things.
No,
so you've just got to keep fighting as an athlete.
Chris, thank you so much for becoming a member and joining our lovely big family. Scotty, thank you for the super chat. How do you rate Luke's recovery and training since the Arnold's? It sounds like Luke lacks some belief in himself from some of his comments.
I believe they've both improved a fair bit since the Arnold's. Tom definitely has. I actually thought Luke looked good going into the Arnold's. He just didn't perform, and then sometimes that happens. He was a little bit big, I think, at the Arnold's. Hopefully he's worked on his conditioning and fitness a bit.
His conditioning wasn't quite there, was
I have seen a few comments where it looks like sometimes I see Luke and he's saying the right things, and sometimes he's saying, my brother's amazing, no one's going to beat him. Yeah. And I think that's a process he's got to get out of his head if he wants to try and win World's Strongest Man himself. Luke is an unbelievable strong man. I think he's still got a chance of going on to break the log record. Potentially could win a couple more Giants live shows. I don't personally see Luke as a contender for World's Strongest Man. I think his deadlift is too much of weakness. And I just think there's some athletes that are just a little bit better at this level.
Well-rounded.
Like Luke, would need the perfect events.
Yeah. But I don't know what 6 perfect
whereas
events
there's other athletes that can win no matter what the events.
Yeah.
And if they get the perfect events, they've got an advantage. And he's got his brother in there who is very, very good at Worlds, and it does seem like it's pushing Tom to be the 3-time champion, which Tom can definitely do.
Matt saying, thank you both so much for what you do. I will be attending Worlds for the first time this year with you both in an earbud while I watch. Now, that is commitment. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. We hope you have an amazing time. For anyone that's going to be at Worlds, we hope you guys have a blast. Obviously, we'd love to be there with you all, meeting you all. Hopefully next year we will be.
Let us know if you are checking in from Myrtle Beach. Florian, thank you so much for becoming a member. Someone here saying Group 4 is the most interesting to watch. I think so, because it doesn't have any of the big names. It's got Brian, but it's very competitive.
I personally think we're going to see a hell of a battle in that group.
Any 5 of those guys could end up in a stone off. It really wouldn't surprise me. Nothing would surprise me in that group.
I spoke to Rauno just briefly.
Yeah, I've spoken to him.
He's nervous as hell, but he you know, I think he's happy with his group. He should be.
Yeah.
Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, I said you could be with your friends in Group 3.
Yeah, he wouldn't want to be in with Ivers and Kilishkoski.
No. Samantha, thank you for becoming a member. Elizabeth,
lots of people want to see these outtake videos, I think.
I don't like Group 3, geez Louise. Oh, yeah, it's worth it for the outtake videos alone. A dead L spoon. Thank you for the super chat. Here's a fun one. Which group do you think will have the least points disparity between 1st and 6th? I'm thinking Group 2 or 4 will be splitting hairs.
I think Group 4 could be really close.
Yeah. I think could Group 1 be close? I don't know. Group 4 stands out.
I'm going to predict this.
Maybe Group 3.
Right. Prediction on Group 1. Tom is happy to coast through just winning the stone off.
Yeah, same.
I think Tom will do all he can to save as much energy as possible.
Pablo will do everything he can to win that group, and Tom doesn't want to work as hard as that.
Yeah, so that's what I kind of think. I think Pablo wins that group.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think Tom is going to just make sure he's in the top 3.
Yeah,
and then get through on the stones, which isn't necessarily for most people the smartest thing to do, but for Tom, it works.
When the stone off is your natural God-given talent, it doesn't really exert you in the same way as it.
You imagine if it was a yoke, and I'm not talking about for me, for Mitch.
For Mitch, yeah.
Mitch Hooper had a yoke as a last event.
He's fresh as a daisy after a yoke, isn't he?
Yeah. It's, you know, it's not going to affect him in the slightest. You imagine Eddie Hall having a deadlift as the last event. That's kind of what you're looking at with Tom, or Novikov having a dumbbell.
Yeah.
You know, Novikov has won the dumbbell the last 11 times he's done it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No.
But yeah, I think 4 will be the closest group in terms of points. Like maybe Brian
you never
stretch
know.
away a bit. I don't know. No, we just don't know. We don't know. Anything can happen. Everyone's sleeping on Matt Ragg. These are great events for him. Is Matt Ragg in group 2 or 3?
He is in group 3. Yeah, 3.
3.
I don't think it's just sleeping on him. You're asking him to step up against 2 of the greatest right now in Mateus and Mitch Hooper, with Ivers, who is one of the most successful strongmen of all time. Matthew Ragg is very good, and this is a great opportunity for him to prove it.
Spencer beat Matthew in OSG as well. Not sleeping on him. It's just,
you know,
that's going to be hard.
The fact is, every single athlete at World's Strongest Man is really, really good. They would all kick my ass, but you're talking about the best in the world, and a small percentage makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And, you know, Mitch Hooper and Kilishkoski just came 1st and 2nd at the Arnolds. And Mateus is actually still not back to his best. That's a scary thought. The guy came 2nd at the Arnolds, won 3 events, and he's not back to his best.
Yeah. Extremely Gassy. What a great name. Thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on the medley objects? Any danger or big advantage to tall guys? Did you see that log thing?
I did. And I think it suits guys with longer arms, definitely. That's going to be an advantage for the taller athletes. Also, the taller athletes, when it's loading on sand, have an advantage of kind of covering more ground with one step.
Yeah.
The sand is only an issue if it's soft sand. It can, if it's compact and harder, it's not so much of a problem. But if it's soft, it really drains the legs. Beach sand. Was that Brian?
Yeah. I love Brian. He's like,
seriously.
I know he does. I know, which is why I love to tease. Oh, what's going on? Terita, we cannot see your super chat, but please do type your comment again, and we'll see if we can see it
as well.
Chris Yates, thank you for the super chat. I think Brian is looking more determined than ever this year, especially with going through the cellulitis, is it called?
Yeah.
The infection.
Yeah.
He seems to have been able to go to that dark place again. Haven't seen that in a while. No, we haven't.
I'm looking forward to seeing once the comp starts. That's when
Yeah.
we'll really know. And it's
because Brian does always look good in training leading up to
Always.
World's Strongest Man.
yeah, and Brian is, he's a great strongman, so much experience. He knows when to switch it on. He knows when to hold back. So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of shape he's
Surely
in.
knowing this is his last crack
You
at
give
it, he's
100%.
going to go, I think he's going to flip the switch this year.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you for the super chat. Would love to see Brian get his 5th, but I'm torn as I'm a Tom Stoltman fan, and the honesty he brings with his superpower. The honesty he brings with his superpower.
Would love to see Brian get his 5th, and I'm torn as I'm a Tom Stoltman fan, and the honesty he brings with his superpower.
I'm torn all over the place because I have so many.
So many guys you want to see do well.
Yeah, it's really, really hard. But I mean, the great thing is when you're rooting for more than one guy, you've got more than one chance of your favorites winning.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard when you're emotionally invested in people. It's very hard. Simon, thank you for the super chat. I'm heading down to Myrtle Beach right now. I made a Buzz Lightyear poster to support Mitch. Lovely. He'll love that. And, Mitch is the most approachable strongman you'll ever meet. So get chatting to him. He likes it. He likes to chat, doesn't he?
You saying he likes attention?
Yeah, he's an attention whore. Hi, Laurence and Liz. I don't like group 3. Mitchell might not get through, Guru. Oh, don't worry, Liz. He'll get through. Be all right. Don't worry about him. God, he better. Just make it all 30 athletes, 12 to 15 events, and fight it out. 12 to 15. You're more brutal than us.
Yeah.
Ben, thank you for the super chat. I feel like Tom's 3rd might be coming, but what's your opinion? Mitch saying he's faster than Tom on stones.
I feel like Tom's 3rd might be coming, but what's your opinion? Mitch says he's faster than Tom on stones. Mitch says he's faster than Tom on stones.
I've seen this comment a couple of times today. I don't know exactly where it comes from. I don't know, the context of the conversation.
Mitch Hooper is saying he's faster.
Yeah, you should bring him.
Well, I'll have to ask him.
Really?
Mitch, I love Mitch. I think he's an incredible strongman. Obviously, I coach Mitch. He's not faster than Tom on stones.
No.
Not yet. He may be one day, but he's got to prove it.
Mm.
He's faster than him on yoke, though.
Yeah. If Pablo wins the group, Bobby versus Tom on stones, yeah, I can see it going that way.
Yes.
Glad I'm working from home all week.
Yeah.
Us too. What we got here? Elite Code.
Thank you
so
much
much for the super chat. It's very generous. They did a better job putting the groups together than they did with the live stream announcing groups. I heard World's Strongest Man is using dial-up internet. What are the chances that Pablo Cordiaco could win the entire show? Thanks for all your work.
It's not impossible. I just think the deadlift in the final cost him a little bit more.
Yeah.
And the events in the heats are better. So the events in the heats are really good.
Yeah.
The events in the final are good still.
He's got some
very good events.
We discussed him at depth because the more we look at him, the more we like him for doing very well. And we definitely think he could crack that top 5. But I think probably not the win at this point or even the podium at this point. But, oh, man, I would be so happy to see that handsome face on the podium.
I think because he'll want to win the heats.
Yeah.
And he'll push hard.
Yeah.
I think Tom will save energy. I think, Novikov is a bit more experienced. Obviously, the deadlift is going to cost Pavlo some points in a final. Obviously, it depends how many great deadlifters get into the final.
Yeah.
But he's very good. He's good at carrying events. He's good at throwing events. He's good at fingers. He's solid at stones. His dumbbell is very good.
He'll be good at
his deadlift is a weakness.
Yeah, his deadlift is a weakness.
So there's only really one weak event for him, 2 to 3 really good events for him, and 2 sort of.
It's like a young Mateusz all over again. Terminator 2.0, maybe.
Who knows?
There's a big claim there. Oh, Jorian, thank you so much for the super chat. Putting you on the spot for a weird prediction. Who do you think will take the most points over all the groups in the heats?
I think Novikov.
Yes, I think Novikov too.
I think Novikov is the kind of guy that won't hold back.
Yeah, and I think he could win almost every event in his group.
Yeah.
And what will be fun, on the Friday we'll post this, the comparison of all 30 athletes as if they competed in one large group rather than individual heats.
Alexei has Ian Bibby, Gav Bilton, Fadi El-Masri, Thomas Evans, and Luke Stoltman. Novikov wins the deadlift. He potentially wins the loading. Probably wins the Conan circle.
Yeah, he'll win the Conans.
The throw, he might not win.
Gav could win the throw, and
Gav
Luke
could win the throw. I think
win the
Faddy
log.
could cause people problems on the
Yeah.
throw. Luke could win the log. Alexi could win the log. Iron Bibby could win the log.
Oh yeah, Bibby's in there as well.
Iron Bibby should win the log, but because it's a log medley, I'm not guaranteeing that he wins.
It's a ladder, isn't it? Yeah. He's just.
I actually think
slower on the clean.
Luke is very efficient on it.
Yeah, Luke's good at like Luke did great on the deadlift ladder, and deadlift's not a great event for him. Europe's a couple of years ago because he was very quick.
At Worlds in his group, he did okay.
Yeah. Did he win it?
I think he did in his group.
No, actually, Coco did.
Did he? Oh,
yeah, I think so. Yeah. There we go. Chris, thank you so much for becoming a member. What have we got? Great to see all the members joining the live stream. It's 1,265 people on with us. Loz was like, he had all this nervous energy. He was like, should we go live? I feel like we need to talk some more. Let's do a live.
I wanted to talk to people, get their reaction.
Yeah, it is interesting to know what
Bubba
other people are
Donut
thinking.
wants to know, he's a member for 10 months. I see his comments come up here.
Yeah.
He wants to know where I got my t-shirt from. Tell people where they can get the t-shirt. Smash and Pass.
Smash and Pass, which is a small brand up in the Highlands of Scotland, but they do ship worldwide, and really nice people and a great company.
I love this t-shirt.
Yeah, and they really support like the Highland Games and Strongman as well. So yeah, really great company to shop with.
Thank you to the guys at Smash and Pass for sending it to me.
Ron chops in, Pablo wins that group. Eddie is dead after a deadlift. I think they're talking about Hall, not Williams. Brandon Spivvy, thank you for the super chat. I think we'll see Gavin Luke in a stone off, which might be the worst possible scenario because then we'll be heartbroken no matter what. Who else is in that group?
Gav, Luke, Thomas Evans.
Could be Thomas Evans, so fifth at the Arnolds. Come on now, Brandon.
I think Alexi wins that group. And honestly, I think Luke Stoltman probably gets through in second place. But
Thomas Evans,
and Gav shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be far behind. It could be very, very close because Luke has the weakness in the deadlift.
And then you just don't know with Iron Bibby, but I don't know why. I just have a feeling he's not going to do that well.
Yeah, I have
and
a
I'm
feeling
just basing
too.
that on a hunch, nothing more.
Yeah.
There's no science behind it. There's no, he's not given us enough to really go off in terms of watching him.
Yeah.
But he's got a lot of talent. I don't know why. I just think he's going to struggle at Worlds.
Give us your biggest upsets for each group. I'll give you one upset. Mateusz doesn't make the final because Mitch wins the group and he loses on the stone off to Ivers.
That could potentially happen.
Yeah, I know.
That's I tell you what, for Mitch and Kilishkovsky, they both really want to win that group
because you don't want to be in a stone off of Ivers. I've been saying this for years.
And the reason I think Mitch wins the group is the deadlift.
Yeah, because
I think Mitch wins the deadlift. At worst, maybe comes second in that group.
Yeah,
but I really think he'll win the deadlift.
I think he'll win the deadlift.
I think Mitch could potentially win the log. Hicksy could, but obviously depends which Hicksy turns up sometimes.
He didn't do so well with Europe on the log.
Yeah, last time they went head to head on a log, Mitch beat Hicksy. Kilishkovsky's good on log as well. So Graham, obviously, we know how strong he is. If he performs as he can, could beat them both. But it's doing it in comp. Sometimes he just doesn't seem to do it in comp. Loading, Mitch and Kilishkovsky be really fast, both of them.
Yeah.
Ivers will be pretty solid. The Conans, Mitch is very good. Mateusz is very good. Ivers is solid.
It's just, I think that would be the biggest upset.
Yeah.
That's the biggest upset I can see. Mateusz not making the final.
I'm not sure how good Spencer and Matthew are at throwing.
I can't remember. They did throwing. Oh, actually, no, they didn't. Not last year at OSG. Yeah, the year before.
Yeah, Spencer's not bad.
Spencer's okay, yeah.
But I just think Mitch will be very consistent. And again, like he is in most comps, that makes you hard to beat. Kilishkovsky is still... Watching his training videos and stuff, you can see he's not quite his best yet.
He doesn't have that confidence either. But just don't rule him out. And don't listen to him either, because he'll go and win an event. He'll go, yes, but that was bad. I did much better in training. Like, but you won.
Yeah, he won 3 events at the Arnolds and he wasn't happy about it.
No, not one bit. Can't believe how excited I am to look at spreadsheets this way. Oh, us too. It's odd, really, isn't it? But
it is. We get... World's Strongest Man is the biggest comp.
What the fuck is Group 3? Was there a
Thank you.
full announcement video? I don't know. I think the stream was deleted. I'm not sure.
So I was watching.
was it
I was
on?
watching the stream.
Yeah.
So World's Strongest Man had a live stream. Seemed to have some technical issues, but it got started. And as they started to announce the first group, it just went dead.
Yeah, halfway
and then
through.
all it said was kind of, this video is private or something after a while.
It went private.
And then
You're not invited.
and then Mitch was doing a live, and as he was doing his live, all the athletes got sent the groups.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they
that's
all
where
got
we-
sent the official email.
We found out from Mitch Hooper.
Naomi, hi Liz and Loz. First, often tune in, but first time commenting. Love to you both.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
very much,
commenting.
Naomi.
Always comment. It's a good group here.
It is.
Jonathan, thank you so much for becoming a member. Apparently, Mitch misspoke in a video and he meant to say Trey. He was faster than Trey on the stones instead of Tom.
Then
It's possible he could be faster than Trey. He's faster in general than Trey, but Trey is a better stone.
Right now, the fastest man ever on the stones at World's Strongest Man on this particular setup is Tom.
Is it Tom?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it might be Thor.
No, it's Tom.
Okay.
On this current setup.
Yeah.
And I think that wasn't even last year's performance. I think it was a couple of years ago, actually, when he didn't win. I think I'd have to check the times, but Tom's very, very good at the stones, as we all know.
Evan asking, how do we feel about World's Strongest Man not being live streamed? We come from an era when Loz was competing where they were not allowed to tell family and friends, or anyone, how they did. Even if you won, you could not say on social media or anywhere that you won. So we have seen, even though we're still not at the point where we've got a live stream, we've seen massive leaps and bounds in the information that's available, the treatment of athletes, the overall quality of, the production on site. So we want a live stream as much as everyone else, but we do see those improvements. So we take what we can get.
Yeah, I think, we need things to keep improving.
I feel like Ivers has been massively underrated when being put in the groups, because Ivers is really, really good on his day.
Did you know the problem was Ivers just came to Worlds in bad shape last year?
Yeah, but they shouldn't, I would hope they wouldn't be just basing it off of last year's World's Strongest Man and actually looking at the year as a whole. Because if you look at Ivers' year after World's Strongest Man, he's been on 7 podiums. He's won a few competitions. He won the Strongman Champions League.
Let's have a look at Ivers.
Loz will look up Ivers.
Because everybody loves Ivers.
I don't hate the groups. Aethor and most of group 4 being underrated. Aethor will 100% be in a stone off. I see it now. Aethor's very solid, and he on very similar events.
So
he was
Ivers' last few competitions. Strongman Champions League England, he was first. Strongman Champions League Poland, he was second. Strongman Champions League Gibraltar, he was first. Giants Live World Tour Finals, he was second. The 2022 World Strongman Championships, which is the Champions League Finals, he was first. World Strongman Championships. Okay, yeah. World Strongman Championship, he was first. Champions League World Tour Finals, he was first. And most recently, Europe's Strongest Man, he was third. He's not been off a podium in the last...
Since the Shore Classic last year. Colt, thank you so much for becoming a member.
You do?
Oh, I don't know. Your mail has for some reason come up. Hold on, guys. We're having a technical issue.
That's not how you're going to do it.
Oh, okay.
What did you do?
I clicked on a comment.
I don't know what you've done.
It doesn't matter.
It does. Anyway.
It's okay.
No, it's not. I don't know what the hell you've done here.
Well, the screen's still recording the same.
Okay.
Because the screen is just recording us, so don't worry.
It's just annoying.
It is annoying.
I don't have a clue what you've done.
There you go. Press the green button there. There you go.
There we go.
There we go. Oh.
No, stop it. There we go. We're back.
Oh.
We're back.
Right. Let's find where were we. Sorry, we now lost where we were in the comments. We'll try to make sure we don't miss anyone. Yes, so Colt, thank you for becoming a new member. And then also for the super chat. How much does it feel like they are playing way too hard? Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh, that's someone else. Yeah,
Yes.
Corey. They are playing way too hard into this being Brian's last year. Also, what happened to Martins?
How much does it feel like they're playing way too hard in the... You have to look, Brian Shaw is a 4-time World's Strongest Man winner. They're naturally going to make a big deal about it. He's announced it is his last competition, so rightly so, you make it a big deal.
Do you feel they've given him an easy group because of it being his last year?
I don't feel there is an easy group at World's Strongest Man.
No.
But it's an easier group than the current champion has.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
And the Arnold Strongman Classic champion.
Yes. That's fact based off performances in the last few years.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't argue it because you just go and
We
look at
have the
results.
data, yeah.
But it's Brian's last year at World's Strongest Man. He's one of the greatest of all time. I think they're going to make the most of it.
Yeah.
You know. But thank you very much for the super chat. Also, what happened to Martin's list is Martins is having the year off.
Yeah.
So
he said that after the Rogue Invitational, didn't
after
he?
the Rogue Invitational, he said he needs some time off. I understand it. I don't like it from a fan's point of view.
Yeah.
A lot of these athletes taking time off, it's not really for me. I think if you're going to compete, just compete. But you have to understand how hard this is on their bodies, and I totally get it from a competitive point of view. Just as a fan's point of view, I want to see the best guys competing.
Of course. 1.2 thousand watching, less than 200 likes.
Go and like the video, people, and
Unacceptable.
subscribe to the channel if you are not already done. So it just helps us so much, and you know, we appreciate every single one of you for following, liking, subscribing, and commenting, and just being part of our little family.
Will Par bounce his pecs up?
Probably.
That will definitely go on my bingo card. Par bouncing his pecs, Par licking his lips, that, and also Par deep throating a banana. You guys should compare your groups to these ones. Maybe we'll if I just set them up tomorrow while we're waiting for some results to come through. If we get time, we'll have a little look.
Definitely.
Nate, thank you so much for the super
Thank
chat,
you very
Nate.
much,
Very
Nate.
generous. I'm biased as an American, but I think Tom Evans makes the final and excited to see Trey make some noise. Thoughts? Trey, I think, is sailing through to the final because if he doesn't win his group, he's got that almost banker of stones, especially when you look at his group. I think Trey beats any of them in the stones, no problem. So Trey should have a nice final. And his weaknesses aren't in the final this year.
No.
I mean, he doesn't have many weaknesses. What would we say? Like
Trey's a great strongman.
Yeah, he's
Trey really is. I can't see Trey not being in the final.
No way. And Thomas Evans, we're massive Thomas fans, and I would love to see him in the final. I feel like his stones may hold him back a little bit, just based on results that we've seen. But he's still new to this scene. He can improve a lot, can't he?
Absolutely.
He's a really strong guy. Thomas.
Smash that like button, people.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Melissa, for becoming a member.
Oh, go on, click on that one from Leon. Oh
sorry.
Toby, after pulling many strings, I've got my girlfriend to agree to watch the spreadsheet live stream with me tomorrow. Though I will end up having to pay for a date night of her choosing, I'm sure.
It's worth the date night.
Everyone needs a gateway video.
Coming to train with Uncle Oz is a good date. I coach Toby.
I'll do you.
He needs to come and do a session with me. And I think that's the best way to sell it.
This is interesting. Luke and Tom have just done a reaction video to the groups. Tom says he intends to win the group. That is interesting because it won't be easy with Pavlo in there, even being the world's strongest man. They're just
Tom is capable of winning the group.
Of course.
It depends how much energy he's wanting to expend. But, we'll see.
We will see. I still think Pablo gets through, though, because he's a great stone lifter. He only lost out on the stone off last year to Maxime, but he lifted the stone 10 times.
Yeah.
That's, as the stone off, that's the most we've ever seen it lifted. We saw it lifted more when it was last man standing.
Yeah, but that was a lighter stone.
180 kilos, yeah.
It was 160 when it was lifted 22 times.
By Belsac. Yeah. That was ridiculous.
That was crazy.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Biggest surprise, Tom won't make the finals. That's not going to happen.
That happening.
No.
The only way that can happen, in my opinion, is
if he gets hurt.
Yeah, and nobody wants to see that.
No.
So,
Nate, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, thank you, Loz and Liz. Amazing to see you both expand this channel and what you do for Strongman.
Thank you very much, Nate.
We feel very lucky that we're able to do this, don't we? And that there are so many people just willing to watch. Oh, Lars has seen something he likes the look of. James, do you think Brian Shaw can make history by winning his 5th title, or do you think his leg injury earlier this year is going to hold him back?
I don't think the leg injury holds him back at all. I think some people probably feel like I'm a bit harsh about this, but
Loss is like, man up.
It's not that. Like,
No, I know.
it's a genuinely horrible thing that happened to
Yeah,
him. You
it
know,
looked
you don't
horrible.
wish it on anyone. But I will explain this many times. Every single athlete goes through these type of things.
Mm.
I've gone through it. Every one of the other 29 athletes that he's competing against has had issues. Athletes get injuries all the time. They have issues, family issues, you know, all sorts go on. Brian would not turn up if he wasn't in shape. And he has been training extremely hard. That happened back in January. It's now April. He was back in the gym as soon as he got home.
Yeah.
He's had 4 of the best Americans over training with him, and they had an amazing training camp from everything I've heard. He's had Terry and Hicksy go over and train with him. They said that Brian's looking amazing, and that was closer to the time he had the injury or the infection. So I don't think that affects him in the slightest. Do I see him winning his 5th? Is a different question. I think it's possible that he wins a 5th, but personally, I don't think he will. No. I think he's going to be top 5.
Yeah.
Where in that? Honestly, if he makes the podium for his last comp,
that would be incredible.
That would be such a way to go. I mean, if he did do the unthinkable and won it, it really would be what a way to finish your career.
Yeah, it's like the fairy tale ending.
Brian, multiple Arnold's winner, multiple World's Strongest Man winner.
He'd become the oldest man to win World's Strongest Man.
He's made more finals than anyone else. He's consistently made the final over 12 years.
Yeah, since 2009.
It's just ridiculous how good he's been at World's Strongest Man. And if he can go out at 41, is he, or 42? 41.
He's
but regardless,
41.
He'd be the oldest man to ever win World's Strongest Man. He'd also have the biggest gap between title wins. It would be incredible fairy tale for Brian. And he's capable. I just think there's younger guys that are probably
they would just take too many points from him here and there to reduce the overall chance. George, thank you for the super chat.
Athor in a stone off. Yes.
Mark lost the stone off last in 2021 against Tom Stockman. Check and see how many times he lifted the stone, because Athor has won it, and I think both times he lifted the stone 5 times. So that's the most Athor has ever been forced to do. But I'd be interested to see at what point did Mark fail a stone, and then we'll know more.
When did Mark?
2021 in the groups. Mark Felix, he was in Tom Stockman's group. People want you to get Mitch on the phone like you were on his phone. He's had enough airtime. He needs to be concentrating on winning World's Strongest Man. What have you got? How many times was there?
5 stones.
Oh, there you go then. Sounds like they're quite evenly matched. Who knows? Who do you reckon? Pick a name, Athor or Mark?
I think if he got to a stone off, Mark could win.
Do you think? Experience over youth.
Mark is a good stone
Mark's
lifter.
a great stone lifter. Yeah, he is very good.
I don't think Mark gets to the stone off, is the problem.
No, I don't.
Mark has no bankers this year in the final. Like last year,
the deadlift's good for him.
It's good for him, but it's not a banker.
No.
He had the grip hold last year.
Yeah,
that makes a big difference.
The wrecking ball.
But I'd love to see it. I'd love to, but I don't think. I think in that group, Trey and Evan are the favourites, and I think if Evan is even slightly off, Athor is going to be there.
Oh yeah,
just watching, kind of over the shoulder, waiting for a mistake.
The Icelandic assassin. That's what we're calling him now. Jason, thank you for the super chat. Man, they must really hate Mitch to give him a group like that. He's going to have to work to win.
He's a very hateable guy.
Yeah. And he wanted a hard group because he said the more great guys he can get out, knock out in the group stages, the better it is, or the easier it is in the final. That arrogance, honestly. He's a very hateable guy. Poor Mitch.
See what he's up to. Faddy's excited.
Good.
I'm glad.
Extremely gassy. Thank you for the super chat. When are you two going to be on the group committee? I've applied. No, I haven't officially, but I don't know, man. I get too emotional. I don't think they'd want to work with me. They're like, no, not Liz. Should be bending our ear. Maybe Loz could end up on there one day.
Yeah.
You want to be on the group committee?
I'm just talking to Faddy.
Although Loz is a coach, so maybe Maybe they'd think that's a
Yeah.
conflict of interest. He's
don't
got
think-
4 athletes there. Probably not the best choice. The operator, thank you for the super chat. When is the TV deal over so we can all enjoy watching Worlds live? We don't know the ins and outs of the contract details and stuff like that, do we, Lozzie? But
No.
we do know that with World's
We know
Strongest Man,
nothing.
it always takes a couple of years to implement the changes that they want to make just because of everything. So watch this space, I would say. I think we will see some big changes over the next 5 to 10 years at World's Strongest Man, definitely.
Yeah.
Who have we got here?
Rooting for
Jorian,
Ivers.
thank you for the super chat. Will they have to do a run-in with the Stones in the final?
I think it's the same as the last few years.
Yeah.
The stone off in the heats. I think it's just over the bar. It's not a bar, is it?
Is it like a yoke? Oh no, it's not
like
a yoke.
a wooden
it's a
kind of
wooden, yeah,
yeah.
frame thing. But it's quite low. It's not that
It's
high.
not that
It's
high.
waist height, isn't it?
The final is usually a running.
Yeah, yeah. There will be some running with stones involved.
Nicola, thank you. Oh, Nicolette, sorry.
Nicolette, thank you for joining. Where are we? Go Rauno. I think you can make it through to the final, says Helena. We're believers.
We'd love to see him get to the final.
Yeah, we would.
He'd love to get to the final. If Rauno got to the final, he'd be like smiley Rauno. No one would have seen so many smiling.
No.
Ivers is definitely tired. I can answer that question. Did you see him in a
hopefully.
mobility scooter?
Yeah, he was in a mobility scooter going
That's
around Walmart.
Rauno. Ivers saving energy for the competition.
Yes.
It's very sneaky.
Tired Ivers is a dangerous Ivers. Do we know what time it's expected to kick off tomorrow? Yes. So it's
1 p.m.?
1 p.m. UK time, 8 a.m. Over there. And then I've got the times actually. If you take control there, Lozzie.
Get the times for us. Answered this earlier, Jordan, but Martins is just having a year off. Thank you for becoming a new member. How do you say that?
Ira comment?
Ira comment.
I don't know. Ira? You know I can't.
You are the voice of Strongman. Thank you very much. 1,300. It's up to 1,400 now. Please get the likes up, guys.
So tomorrow,
go on.
Loading race starts at 8 a.m. local time, which is 1 p.m. our time. And then 3:30 our time, 11:30 a.m. their time. No, that would be 4:30 our time. The deadlift machine starts. Then log ladder is at 4:50. So it's at like 10 to 10 at night is the log ladder.
Okay.
And they've got each event lasting about 2 hours, which is good going to get 30 guys through events in 2 hours. So we will see.
David thinks Brian wins the 5th title. Hooper gets 2nd, and 3rd is between Trey or Alexi.
Doesn't even have Tom on the podium.
Wow.
The World Strongest Man Circus is
Tom is not going to the finals. He has no confidence from the Arnold Classic.
Tom at the Arnolds and Tom at Worlds is so different, though. It's
the World's Strongest Man Circus has begun.
It has.
It's going to be epic. Group 3 is brutal. It is. Easy events for Brian. Would not.
What are you looking at?
What a surprise. Live without me. Nicola, you're always welcome here. You know that. Rauno's in the house.
Yay. Team Liz need to get to the final. And now I'm going to go. Bye. Oh, he's literally just popping in.
Popped in and now he's off.
Good luck, Rauno. Everyone wish Rauno good luck.
El Prez Cat, how does Bobby get the hard group every year?
He has had some rough groups. The problem for Bobby, he's never really performed at the World's Strongest Man stage. Like he won his group in 2021, but then he sort of burnt himself out in the final. And he doesn't really compete in Giants live shows, does he? So
he's done a couple, but he was injured. He was injured when he came over for the log lift, didn't he?
Yeah, he got injured. Issue. Yeah.
But Bobby's been unlucky at Worlds.
Yeah, he's had some.
I think this is a
tough draws.
Nasty group, because to me, Bobby is top 10 in the world, without question.
3rd at the Arnolds, beating the current World's Strongest Man.
3rd at the Arnolds, he won America's Strongest Man, beating Trey Mitchell. He's performing exceptionally well in all the shows that he's doing.
Yeah, if you rank people based on who they've beaten, he's beaten a lot of really good guys. Yeah. Who do you think is the darkest horse this year who could upset everyone? I think Pablo Cordiaca.
The darkest horse is Mark Felix. Is that wrong?
Yeah, it does sound wrong, does it?
is Pavlo a dark horse? He just won Europe's Strongest Man.
Yeah, but Europe's and Worlds are two totally
No,
different
I
beasts,
agree.
aren't they? He's never been in a final.
I think the heats are really going to suit him, and yeah, there's good events for him in the final. But Mark Felix, 57 years old, comes out, makes the final on a stone off.
Yeah, definitely.
Surprises everyone.
Yeah.
Wins World's Strongest Man at 57.
That would
decides he's not going to retire, comes back for the next 10 years.
Oh, God. He ends up competing against Bubba Pritchett and Eddie Halsey. Blubber Donut, thank you for the super chat. Have you guys picked a top 3? No, we never pick them at this point until we know who's in the final. So if you go back and look at our video that we posted earlier, we've picked out our 10 finalists who we think will qualify.
I did a little kind of pre-World's Strongest Man guess of who I think will be top 3. But honestly, there's so many good guys. So it's hard to say. But I personally think Tom, Mitch and Novikov will be top 3 in no particular order.
Yeah. Oh, Bob, you've got a comment, but nothing attached to it. Where are we? I will keep an eye out for your name if you want to type your comment again. Ben Thompson, thank you so much for becoming a member.
What was the name of the other guy?
Bob.
Bob
Lafleur. Lafleur. Just butchering everyone's name. Chris, thank you so much for the super chat. Wife and I always watch Strongman together now, thanks to you guys. She almost follows it more than me now. Love it. Ah, perfect. Just like me and Lozzie. That's people wishing Rano good luck. Where are I? Oh, here's Bob. Here we go. Well done. Thank you for the super chat. Sure, Brian will get through, but it's not an easy group. Gabe Rayon will throw a wrench in that group.
I was talking to, I don't know if you guys saw the video I did with JF Karan, and he thinks that Gabriel is looking really good.
Yeah.
So if he says he's looking good, then we believe him.
Where are we? Leslie, thank you so much for becoming a member.
Thank you, Leslie.
I'm headed to Myrtle Beach now. Can't wait to see some of you there. You guys are going to all have the best time. It's that I think there's going to be a lot of people there. Get there early. It starts at 8 a.m. They'll let you in at 7. Honestly, I'd get there at 6 for the best spot.
Will World's Strongest Man ever come to the UK? Would be huge. We would love to see it in the UK. World's Strongest Man, come to the UK. We've got plenty of fans here. And you've got Uncle Loz and Auntie Liz as well.
Yeah. Or literally anywhere in Europe I'd take. Like, I don't mind. I like getting out of the UK.
I love the
personally.
States, but it would be nice to see Worlds back in Europe for at least 1 year.
Yeah. Maybe into a Scandinavian country or something. There's quite a few I haven't visited yet.
I really enjoyed Worlds when it was in Malta.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice and warm, but yeah, it was nice.
I've only ever been to Worlds in dodgy places.
What do you mean dodgy places?
You take me to the dodgiest places.
Wherever taking you to Worlds. You came to LA.
Yeah.
You came to the Philippines. No, you didn't come to the
Philippines. No, I came to Malaysia.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Bradenton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that was nice. Just ended badly. Dustin, thank you for the super chat. No groups. 30 compete over 2 days to make 10 spots at the final. There, I fixed it.
I've spoken about this before. I wouldn't mind seeing either 24 and have it cut 8 after 4 events and then cut another 8 for a final 8 of
and some
or 10
10
so you're like 30 20 10.
Yeah, that would be good.
I think 12 events is enough events.
Yeah,
you don't
12
need more
is
than that.
enough. Yeah,
because you think about World's Strongest Man at the moment, they basically do 12 events.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
so stick with the 12 events, but then you've got 12 different events because you're not repeating anything in the final. That would be cool.
Yeah. World's Strongest Man UK at Wembley Stadium. Do you know what, though? I don't know if I'd like World's Strongest Man in a stadium or arena.
No?
I like it outside and the sort of elements that they bring from the local area. That's something I've always actually really enjoyed about it. Like in Iceland, when they did that epic loading race into the hot springs or whatever it was.
That was cool.
And yeah, when Magnus, or in 2009, when you were doing the boat pull up the ramp from the water. Cool. I just think stuff like that looks so cool and can't be mimicked in stadiums and arenas, but never mind. Smiling Rano is a mythical creature.
What's this one?
Which one?
That one. This one.
I just watched Mateusz talking about how he is not ready and only had 3 weeks to prepare instead of 8, and he is short of breath and that he doesn't expect much. Your thoughts? I've heard about this as well.
I've not seen it. Obviously, we last saw him at the Arnold's.
We put that video on. It's just that it was subtitled and we were working, so we weren't actually watching the screen and reading what was being said.
He trained really hard for the Arnold's, so he may be saying he's only had 3 weeks to prepare for Worlds, but it's not like he's had 3 weeks of training.
No, it's like event-specific training.
Is very, very renowned for just telling everyone he's in bad shape.
Because he sets the bar so high.
And him in bad shape,
you know,
he might feel he's in bad shape, but him in bad shape is still very dangerous.
Him in bad shape is the sort of shape that some people could only ever dream of being in. So, and I'm talking about guys that get to World's Strongest Man. So we will see. I still expect great things from him.
Yeah. I'd agree. He's not at his best, but he doesn't need to be to still be dangerous.
Yeah. Someone's saying there's some spicy takes on the chat.
There is.
And I think that's what's interesting about this channel, because it's not an athlete-specific channel. It's not just like all of the Stoltman or Mitch Hooper or Brian Shaw's fans in one place. It's a mix of absolutely everyone. So we get a bit more of a balanced view about what people are thinking and feeling. Lots of people wishing
Rauno luck. Lots of people wanted to see Brian win his 5th title.
That's people like your t-shirt, Lasse.
They should. It's a good t-shirt. Do like 5 more minutes, and then
because I've got to get the boy to bed,
and we're going to be on plenty this week.
We're going to bore you all to death. No, we won't. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to get refreshing.
Interesting one. Do you think Luke, Alexei, or Pavlo missing their luggage will have any impact on their performance? No, I do not. World's Strongest Man's quite a luxury where you get a few days of rest before the comp starts. Plenty of athletes have lost their luggage on one-day shows. SBD are there that sponsor most of these guys, so they'll make sure if there is anything missing, they have their stuff. You know, all the other athletes are very kind in terms of looking after each other. It's happened to me before. You have to adapt. If you're wanting like really important things, you take on the hand luggage with you. If you're in America or you're close enough to drive, you drive. It's not always ideal, but you've got to be able to stay calm and adapt in these situations. And it's probably happened to most of the guys at some point. I don't expect it to impact anyone's performances.
No. Yes, the blooper video was epic. There we go. GF already pulling 400 is the most GF
it really ever. Is. Yeah. There's me struggling to pull like 350.
Your 350 look good, Lasse.
Just back deadlifting 400.
World's Strongest Man, come to Oz. I would support that. I would love a reason to go back to Australia because we really enjoyed ourselves there, didn't we? Not the flight though. We'd have to.
That's the only issue with Australia, but they've got to come a long way most of the time, so it's good to see Worlds moving. I like seeing it in different places.
Yeah, I do too. So excited to see Matt Ragg's
debut.
Yes,
definitely.
Lots of Matt Ragg fans.
Lots of debuts this year as well.
There is.
So new talent is awesome.
Mitch said the only person he didn't want in his group was handsome Pavlo. LOL. Me and Mitch got a little bet on, haven't we?
You and Mitch do have a bet on.
I'll disclose it after the results. I don't want to put him off. World's Strongest Man at Buckingham Palace. Jack, thank you so much for the super chat. Do you think Mitch and Mateusz will get a longer distance than Pavlo on the Conans because they will push each other being in the same group?
Depends. I think Tom Stoltman's very good at Conans as well. So that could be interesting. I think
it depends the order you go out in. As well.
It's always nice to compare the different groups, but at the end of the day, you really only focus on who's in your group. So if you're the last person to go in your group and you've done enough to win, there is no point in trying to push because someone else did more in a different group. The smartest thing to do is save as much energy as you can for the final.
Interestingly, the Conans is after the log.
Yeah.
So
some events, like the loading event, which is the first event, is a good event to kind of just track everyone on.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going to go flat out.
Yeah.
There's no advantages to holding back on that event. You literally have to go for it. It's going to most likely be 3 at a time, I would think.
Yeah, it is.
In terms
3
of
racing at a time, yeah.
So really, there's no way you get anyone holding back. And early on in the comp, people tend to push hard. As the table kind of gets more established and the competition goes on, then athletes have that ability to then start being a bit more selective and deciding whether they're going to save energy or not.
Yeah. Right. Just trying to catch up a little bit. Nicola telling people off for spamming. Scotty, thank you for the super chat. How would Prime Loz do with this year's events? We talked about this.
Prime Loz would surprise everyone. No, I wouldn't. I would do absolutely terrible.
He
These
wouldn't make it out of the groups.
Some of the worst events for me.
Yeah.
I was good. I was good on the deadlift.
Yeah.
In my prime, I could have done okay on the log.
Yeah.
My log performances at Worlds actually aren't too bad.
You had some good loading race events in like
Early
2008
on, I
and
was
9.
good.
Yeah.
Loading was just hit and miss for me. Conan's was terrible. I hated Conan Circle. Throwing was not particularly good for me.
No.
And stones. I'm probably better on a stone off than I am at a stone run. I've had up and down performances on stones, but genuinely, just because I've sat here and kind of criticized every single athlete that's competing, I would say this is a terrible set of events for me, and I would be extremely lucky to be in a stone off.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have made the final with these events.
No.
That's just me being honest.
Sad but true. Josh, thank you for the super chat. Who from each group would be the most shocking to miss the final? Tom from group 1.
Tom and Pavlo.
Alexi, one from each group.
I'd be surprised if Tom and Pavlo didn't make the final.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised
Alexi
if Mitch doesn't make the final.
Mitch, Brian, and Trey.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Those would be the biggest shocks, probably.
Yeah.
Hoping to find a stream somewhere tomorrow to watch it
there
live.
Won't be.
No. And like some people might try and stream on their phones onto Instagram, but they do keep an eye on people, don't they? Like some people have got away with it in the past, but you'll be watching like
we'll be live, we'll be getting updates. You guys can come and join in, have updates with us, talk to people. Unfortunately, we're not going to have any action to watch. It's it is a shame, but that's just the way it is. But we'll have fun, we'll discuss things, we'll keep everyone updated as best we can, and just all join together. I know with World's Strongest Man, because it's quite a niche sport, sometimes your normal friends aren't really into it, your family.
You've got no one in real life to talk to.
So we are here for you to come and discuss all things Strongman. We'll be doing lives every single day while World's Strongest Man is on. We're going to have up-to-date result videos. It's just going to be a mental week of Strongman, and we're looking forward to it.
Last one then, Lozzie. Blagger19, thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on getting rid of groups entirely? Also, I'm excited for Evan's chances this year.
I would like to see them get rid of the groups.
Yeah, we would like to see it
many times. But I understand why they do them, but I think it would be cool to see a change.
Yeah, it would. We've had groups since 94. Yeah,
1994 was the first year they had groups.
They did something a bit weird in 2004. Not so sure about that, but they changed the format. Do you remember? It was like head-to-head events. And,
that was a weird one.
It was
really
they got
weird. Points for just doing certain amount of reps or certain distances.
Made it really hard to follow what the hell was going on, but never mind. Anyway, we are going to go now, and we will be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. UK time, 8 a.m.
Remember, guys, if you want to become a member, you get to go and see me and Auntie Liz really messing things up, which is a very funny video, and you've got some other members perks for people.
Yes.
We'll be on live tomorrow. Thank you so much to everyone that joins us. We appreciate all of you. We hope you enjoy World's Strongest Man this week. And if you want to come and discuss it with us, please do. Have an amazing night. We'll catch you soon. Take care.
Smile and wave. Oh. And now.